Good morning, madam.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, Usmani sir.
Good morning,
Am I
madam.
audible, ma'am? Priya, ma'am?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Anjali, you may start now.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. A very good morning to everyone. On behalf of Dayanand Education Society's Dayanand College of Law, Latur, I, Dr. Anjali Poregaonkar, a student of LLB second year, got this opportunity to welcome our guest, all madam and participants, to today's webinar on extremely relevant topic of that time, Disaster Management Act 2005, a tool for environment protection during COVID-19 pandemic. Recently, we have been recovered from COVID-19 pandemic and trying to live with it. Consequences of pandemic unfold daily and they extend beyond physical along with public mental health also. So that disaster management is important because it aims to ensure an effective and coordinated resource to disaster through work to save lives and reduce the impact of crisis on affected communities. Today, we have the privilege to have with us some experts from that field who shall be reflecting on the theme of today's webinar. However, before we begin, by keeping with the traditions of our culture, Atithi Devo Bhava, I request to Pancha ma'am to give a welcome note for him. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Anjali. Uh, First of all, at the very much outset, I'm very much happy to receive uh, Sakib Usmani sir, the district officer for disaster management actually. And I really, on behalf of the management and on behalf of principal ma'am and all the teachers, faculty, and the students, we welcome you, sir. And I'm very happy that you could give your a very precious time for us and deliver your lecture, keynote address, specifically on a very important aspect. Under our Green Club, sir, we are trying to make such programs, arrange such programs for giving insights into such important topics. First of all, disaster management and its relation with environment protection. That is our today's topic. How this act will be helping for for environment protection also, and especially during the pandemic. So you are the very expert. We have got you. I really congratulate Dr. Priya Patil madam because we were thinking of arranging this program and she has made it happen for us today. So I'm really thank you for giving your precious time and delivering your keynote address. And I also wish all the good wishes that such this webinar will be very much fruitful and successful. So thank you very much for this today's your time, sir, and we heartily welcome you. And I'm very much happy, especially because I would like to tell our all the students that today's our resource person is alumni of our college and one of our favorite students also. So we are happy to receive you, sir. So welcome once again, and I would like to give the charge to the anchor for proceeding with the program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, madam. It's my pleasure to hear, madam, today.
Yes, same here.
Thank you, madam. For introduction of today's distinguished personality, I request to Patil madam. Over to you, madam.
Ma'am, please
Madam,
unmute.
It is my pleasure to introduce today's guest because I personally appreciate him. I saw his work from the very base level when we have shifted here from Mumbai. That from that time he was attached with Patil sir, and I saw his work from that time. Not only this, from the basic of his career, he did BSc in computer science, MBA in disaster management. He did LLM. He did courses like CCHR. He did his MPL. Now he is pursuing his PhD. Such a outstanding pro pharma, such a outstanding his degrees and the work field. Uh, from 6 to 7 years, he is working as a district disaster management here, and He worked with many projects with collector office in collaboration with all organization. Sir, we are looking forward for one project assigned by you for the awareness of public. Hope we will get in future, and we will be pleased if you involve our students in your disaster management like activities. So definitely we will be happy. We saw your work in especially pandemic regions, sir. You have worked very hard. Even you also suffered from COVID, and you had some family incidences also. In that crisis situation also you work very confidently, very peacefully, in the manner you work. We are really very proud of you, sir. And lastly, I would like to thankful for our organization also. He gave me opportunity to be invite you as a chief guest resource person for a national level webinar, and we are looking forward for your views how you worked in the pandemic, and we are very thankful towards you, sir. Welcome you, sir. Over to
Thank
you,
you.
Anjali.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, madam. After this wonderful introduction, as everyone is anxiously waiting to listen you, sir, I request you to proceed with your words. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say that I am the alumni of Dayanand Law College, as Shubhangi madam said, and I'm very happy to share my knowledge today with all my juniors and all my gurus who are teaches me on in course during the my LLB and LLM. I am very grateful to thanks Dr. Nathani madam, the principal of Dayanand Law College, and I also extend my gratitude to the Dr. Shubhangi Panchad madam, and then Professor Priya Pramod Patil madam, and then Anjali. All the students and all the participants are most welcome here to hear me, and I'm very happy that you have taken an initiative to organize such a beautiful national webinar to aware our students, to aware our community in the subject like disaster management and environmental protection. It is very sensitive and it is very important subject because we are living in the disaster era. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we are living in the disaster era. Uh, in our country, always all types of disaster occurred in every year. We seen that the severe human life lost and the serious destruction of lives we have experienced in the each and every year, and we found that the disaster management is the most and key activity which is required to do in our day-to-day life. It is not only the responsibility of the administration and government, also it is the responsibility of each and every citizen of India to practice the disaster management related mitigation measures and preventive measures and all other activities like awareing the people related to the effects of disasters, the impacts of disasters, and how we can cope up from the effects of such types of natural and as well as man-made disasters. So we need to aware such things, because just I have said that we are living in the disaster era, and almost all over the globe, each and every country facing the severe types of disaster in each year. But in India, we facing the all types of disaster, natural as well as man-made disasters, meteorology related disasters, and so on. So today's our topic is the Disaster Management Act 2005, a tool for the environmental protection. and how disaster management works during the pandemic like COVID-19 and other disaster like flood, droughts. Latur is known for the earthquake and also known for the severe drought. We experienced this severe drought in year 2015-16. The less rainfall experienced that year, and we seen that our district received the water from the railway wagon. It was the first experience in the Maharashtra state and second in the country. We seen that the severe crisis in our districts. So I'm thinking that this is the very relevant topic of today's to discuss, because we have also seen in lockdown period की प्रत्येक वेळी आपण हे पाहत होतो की जिल्हा आपत्ती व्यवस्थापन किंवा आपत्ती व्यवस्थापन कायदा अंतर्गत म्हणजे देशभरामध्ये, राज्यभरामध्ये किंवा जिल्ह्यात एक लॉकडाऊन इनिशिएट करण्यात आलं. आपल्याला माहित आहे, वी आर द स्टुडंट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन्स. Constitutions gives some right, fundamental right to each and every citizens. So how we can deny such fundamental rights? अशा प्रकारची एक थिंकिंग लोकांमध्ये होती की right to movement from one place to another places, that is one of the fundamental right. And take education, the right of education is one of the fundamental right. So how the schools are school we can lock down, but in the exception, but in the welfare of the society, for the purpose of welfare of the society, we are initiated the Disaster Management Act 2005, the provisions to implement and enforce the lockdown to save the publics from harm which will be occurred due to the COVID-19. So we need to understand the why such things happen and why Disaster Management Act 2005 initiated in the COVID-19 pandemic. And we need to understand that how we can protect our environment by using the Disaster Management Act, provisions of Disaster Management Act. So we will discuss all these things in today's lecture. These all are about the presentation, today's presentation. First of all, we will discuss with the overview of the disaster, the profile of Indian profile of hazard mapping and vulnerability. We will also discuss the disaster management with environmental protection, how we can protect our environment with Disaster Management Act as a tool. And then we will discuss some important provisions related to the Disaster Management Act and how it was initiated and implemented during the pandemic and during the drought situation. That will also we discuss. And then after we will discuss the COVID-19 situation, how will we have handled such this situation in the district, how we have enforced the provisions and the different measures by using the Disaster Management Act to manage the severe COVID situation in our district. So we will discuss all these things in this lecture. So as I have said earlier, disaster risk in India is nowadays increasing day by day, because India is one of the country who is vulnerable to the all types of disaster, not only the natural but also man-made disaster. So around 58% of the our geographical area is prone to the earthquake, that is moderate to very high intensity, or around 12% of our land is prone to the severe flood and the river erosion. We will also we have faced very severe floods in the Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and the region like Kashmir Valley. So all these floods are happened due to the excess rainfall or the And in such years where rainfall deficiency is experienced, that year we will face the drought like condition. So in both the condition we are in the disaster situation, so we need to prepare for the drought also, and on the contrary we need to prepare for the flood also. So around 7,560 16 kilometer long coastline we have, around 8,000 close to the all the important hubs of our nation, like Mumbai, like West Bengal, and all these things. And 68% of the cultivable area is vulnerable to drought, and hilly area are at risk from the landslides and the avalanches. That it may be a snow avalanche, it may be a soil avalanche. Further, the vulnerability to the nuclear, biological, CBRN disasters, and the attacks, the risk of attacks of terrorism has also increased day by day. So, in the point of view, we need to take all such measures. We need some powerful tools to manage such types of disasters. So we consider disaster management act as a very important tool to manage such types of hazards. This slide is related to the annual average damages which occurred in our country. These figures are of around 2014-15. So around 36,006. This slide, the basic aim of my inserting this slide into the presentation is that we need to understand how disasters are dangerous and how disasters are severe to our country, so we can prepare for such types of eventuality. So we need to understand the what damages and what types of effects we have faced in each and every year. So we need to understand the impact in different aspects. So deaths around 36,630 on an average in every year we have occurred in we experienced in our country. Around 14 lakh and 14 lakh 20,000 hectares farmland were destroyed due to the heavy rainfall, due to the tsunami, due to the other disasters. Around 2.35 म्हणजे 23 लाख, जवळपास 23 लाख घरांना नुकसान म्हणजे विविध प्रकारच्या आपत्तीमुळे आपल्या देशामध्ये होतात दरवर्षी. त्याचबरोबर सायक्लोन अफेक्टेड कोस्टल्स इज अराउंड 8,041 kilometers, which is very long coastline as compared to other countries of the globe. 56% of the geographical area is prone to earthquake. It is earthquake and the other seismic activities. The number of disaster prone states as far as concerned, around all the states of our country is prone to the all types of disasters. The total average accidents are around 52,922. It is very large number. So we can understand the how म्हणजे किती मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये हे ऍक्सिडेंट्स घडत असतात. त्याचबरोबर डेथ ड्यू टू द रोड ऍक्सिडेंट अराउंड 95,710. दरवर्षी 95 म्हणजे 95,000 पेक्षा जास्त लोक या विविध प्रकारच्या म्हणजे रोड ऍक्सिडेंट मुळे मयत होतात. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दी we have not taken the figures of marine accident, air accident, and other rail accidents. If all the numbers are incorporated in this, the number will be very high. So we can understand how the disaster affect our social life, how it affects the our economy at large. So as I have said that our hazard vulnerability to the our country, around 12% of the geographical area is prone to the flood, and 68% of geographical area of India is prone to the drought in terms of agriculture, in terms of water scarcity, in terms of fodder scarcity, and around 59% of the geographical area of our country is prone to the seismic activity, like earthquake, small tremors, and 8% of the coastline of our country is prone to the severe cyclones, storm surges. Around 3% of the land of our country is prone to the landslides. Landslides are basically happened in the hilly area, the regions like Himalaya. So snow avalanche and land avalanche is one of the problem of that places. So hazard vulnerability, as we have discussed, we can see in this slide, around 49% of the peoples are affected due to the flood, due to the drought, because our country's economy is based on the agriculture, and all the farmers are depend upon the monsoon rainfall, and if monsoon rainfall is failed to fulfill the average rainfall, then we will face the severe drought for the agriculture. And in some cases, if rainfall decreased more, then it will be the impact of that drought will be very severe. The water scarcity and fodder scarcity, in some cases the famine will be happen due to such types of drought. And we can also see that the floods, the damages due to the flood are also very more, because whenever flood occur, the climate change and the factors like other other disturbances in the meteorology, we can say that the floods damages are more, because the soil erosion and the farmland destroyed due to such floods, and the economic property serious disruption in the property, that is the one of the reason of flood damage. Second thing is that is most important in these things. We need to understand all these hazard vulnerability in our country, and we have to prepare for all types of such disasters. Some disasters are slow onset in their nature, and some are the sudden occurrence disasters. So we cannot it cannot give our time to respond such types of disasters like earthquake, like flood. But in case of cyclone, but in case of biological disaster like COVID-19, it gives us a very sufficient time to prepare such types of disasters. So we need to prepare such types of disaster, and in case of immediate disasters, we need to establish the early warning system to the general public of our country. So this slide is also very important, because before the 2005, when a Disaster Management Act is not comes into the existence, that time all the disaster response activities are relief centric, and all the activities based is focusing on to provide the financial assistance to the victims of the disaster. आपत्तीमुळे जे काही लोक म्हणजे ग्रस्त झालेले असतात, त्या लोकांना फक्त एक फायनान्शियल हेल्प देण्याच्या दृष्टिकोनातून यापूर्वी 2005च्या पूर्वी विचार व्हायचा. परंतु जेव्हा डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट अस्तित्वात आली, ह्याची पण एक हिस्ट्री आहे, ह्याच्यासाठी पण एक स्वतंत्र लेक्चर लागेल की डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट ची गरज का वाटली आणि हे व्हाय इट इज केम इन टू एक्झिस्टन्स. That is one of the very interesting topic. The Latur is involved for that because when Latur district faced the severe earthquake in the 1993, सगळेच जग म्हणजे खडबडून जागे झाले. इथून तिथपर्यंत सगळे म्हणजे खडबडून जागे झाले आणि सर्वांना हे वाटलं की ही काहीतरी आता ह्याच्याबद्दल करण्याची आवश्यकता आहे. त्याचबरोबर देन in year 1999 the super cyclone occurred, then tsunami, then Gujarat earthquake. Such types of incidents force the government to take such measures for the prevention, for the mitigation, and for the preparedness of the disaster. After the after the enactment of Disaster Management Act, all the disaster management activity shifted from relief centric to proactive, holistic, integrated, and continuous activity. As a disaster management cycle, it is working like a continuous process. It is starts from the prevention, it starts from the prediction of disasters, then all the measures related to the mitigations, prevention, risk reduction, and the preparedness, and then during the response phase and the aftermath of disasters, all the activity which we need to do, that all activity is incorporated in the Disaster Management Act. So we can say that disaster management is a continuous process. It is never ending process. की एखादी आपत्ती आली आणि आता म्हणजे त्या आपत्तीला आपण रिस्पॉन्ड केलं आणि आपला काम संपला, अशा प्रकारची काही व्यवस्था नाही. तर इट इज अ कंटिन्युअस प्रोसेस अँड वी नीड टू develop our plans and actions by using different measures, by taking such other preventive measures to avoid the disaster. We can't avoid, but we can reduce the impact of disaster. We can minimize the effects of disaster by using such types of measures. So it is very important that Disaster Management Act provides us all the measures in all the phases of disasters: pre-phase of disaster, during phase of disaster, and aftermath of disaster. What will be the activity in the aftermath of disaster? It is the recovery. It is the recovery through recovery of day-to-day life from due to the affected disasters. So we need to rehabilitate the peoples, and reconstruction may happen in phase, and then development will be the development in terms of what we have done in all the phases of disaster, what the mistakes and what the errors we have faced, what weaknesses and what type of deficiency we have faced. We need to brainstorm on that things, and we need to improve from that learnings for responding another types of, for preventing the upcoming disasters. So this is very important cycles in disaster management. So this is very important, that disaster management and the environmental protection, how we can interrelate these things. Basically, for the environmental protection, there were dedicated acts, Environmental Protection Act. We have here lots of time, but how we can correlate the disaster management and environmental protection? It is very crucial. The Disaster Management Act deals with all aspects of prevention and mitigation, the effect of disaster. So every disaster causes the serious degradation of the environment. It also cause the serious disruption of the property, human lives, animal lives. But in for the one of the important long-term effect is the degradation of environment. So how we can decrease the degradation of such types of degradation of the environment? So the Disaster Management Act helps us to take such a preparedness, response, rehabilitation and reconstruction measures for the purpose of to avoid, to mitigate the impact of disaster, which results the protection of the environment, which results the to avoid the soil degradation, to avoid the disturbances in the ecology, to avoid the disturbances in the meteorological activity and hydrological activity. So all these mitigation measures we need to undertake under this act. This provides a strong vision for a green relief recovery approach within the framework of environmental sustainability. The environmental laws may not use the terms hazard, vulnerability, disaster, emergency, response, but the approach of the science-based and human ecology to the interpretation of their provision is more crucial for the environmental protection. So we we can uh, we can initiate the provisions of Disaster Management Act. We can protect our environment by using different structural mitigation. We can minimize the effect of disaster. We can minimize the impact of different type of natural hazards. So we can save the lives of animals also, like in case of forest fire, all the animals, lives of animals are in the risk, because the forest fire is the frequency and the severity of that fire is not restricted to the one places or a limited place. It can be going to the beyond the coping capacity of all the machinery. So the Disaster Management Act helps us in the prevention of such types of disaster, which resulting into the environmental protection. What is important things we need to understand about the Disaster Management Act is that Disaster Management Act 2005 is enacted in 2005. This act having 11 chapters and 79 sections. Each administrative act as department is act as per the section 38, 39 and 40, that is mostly related with the preparedness, mitigation measures and response and relief, and DDMA to take steps as per the section 25 to 35. These sections are related to the District Disaster Management Authority. DDMA stands for a District Disaster Management Authority. We will say it as a DDMA. The salient features of the Disaster Management Act याच्यामध्ये दिलेले आहेत. It is an umbrella act for our country. It is a very powerful act. Why it is powerful? Because it strengthens the administrative capacity. It strengthens the response agency. It can restrict the movement of people. It can restrict the vehicular traffic. It can use a power to requisite the services of people. It can give the it will give the powers to the administration to requisite the resources, like the services of any department, the resources from any private as well as a government department. There is three-tier structure has been established under this act, national level, state and district level. The dedicated force was established for the purpose of responding any threatening disaster situation. And it is very important for the planning and the implementation of the disaster management plans to prevent and mitigate the people from the disaster, from the affected area. It will help the administration. It will give the one of the opportunity to people to cope up from that disaster, to respond and recover from the events events like earthquake and other disaster, coordination and management of the disaster affected area. It will focusing on the coordination and management of all types of area which are affected due to the natural as well as man-made disasters. How institutional framework is works, and how institutional works framework is given or the country at the state level, at the district level, at local level. You can see in the slide, the National Disaster Management Authority has been established under the chairmanship of the Honorable Prime Minister of the India, and then the National Executive Committee, which is under the chairmanship of the Union Secretary. At the state level, state disaster management authority has been established under the chairmanship of the chief minister of that particular state, and the chief secretary of the that state is the chairperson of the state executive committee. At the district level is implementing and enforcement agency. So that's why we need to understand, and we have experienced various things. At district level, the district collector and district magistrate is the chairperson of the district disaster management authority, and he may constitute all other types of committee for their work. The district disaster management committee is also there for the to respond any disaster like situation. And at the hello.
Hello. I'm disturbing you, sir. Very sorry for that. But sir, slides are not being seen.
दिसत नाहीत का मॅडम?
स्लाइड्स फक्त मेन स्लाइडच दिसते, पुढच्या स्लाइड्स दिसत नाही सर.
थँक्यू.
नाही, इथं तर मला दिसतं, असं दिसतंय की मॅडम टीम्स इज शेअरिंग अ विंडो म्हणून.
नाही सर, स्लाइड दिसत नाहीत सर.
क्लिअर दिसत नाही.
नाही दिसते का पण?
स्लाइड दिसत आहे सर, पण फक्त चेंज
आता दिसायला सर, अगोदर स्लाइड दिसत नव्हत्या.
म्हणजे पूर्वीची दिसलेच नाही का तुम्हाला?
नाही सर.
थोडस इंटरव्ह्यू
स्लाइड चेंजच होत गेली नाही सर.
असं
मला फक्त माझ्या साइडलाच तसं आहे, बट देन दॅट्स व्हाय आय डिस्टर्ब यू.
आपण चेक करू मॅडम, आता चेंज होत आहेत का बघा बरं.
हो, आता चेंज होत आहेत सर. त्याला पीपीटी जर केलं ना तर होऊन जाईल.
पीपीटी फॉर्म मध्येच आहे मॅडम, पीपीटी फॉर्म मध्येच आहे.
स्लाइड शो मध्ये
हो. आता चेंज होत आहेत का मॅडम?
हो सर, होत आहेत. ओके सर. सॉरी फॉर डिस्टर्बिंग यू. यू कॅन कंटिन्यू सर. येस सर, थँक्यू.
हो, थँक्यू मॅडम. एकदा थोडस मी म्हणजे हे करतो, रिकॅप थोडस, कोणती स्लाइड मी दाखवले. दिस इज द वन ऑफ द स्लाइड विच शोज द कंटेंट्स ऑफ दिस प्रेझेंटेशन. यू कॅन सी. हे दिसत आहे ना मॅडम? हॅलो.
Yes sir.
Then we have discussed on this slide also related to the disaster risk in India. This was the first slide, and we have discussed on this slide in very details. This slide is dedicated to the annual average damages in our country due to the various natural disasters, and last 2 points are related to the road accidents. We have discussed this slide about the vulnerability profile of our country. As we have discussed, these types of figures are concerned with the vulnerability and the hazards related to the disasters, and the percentage is given on that slide. This slide we have discussed the people affected and people killed due to the disasters, how our country is prone to the different disasters. This is one of the slide we have discussed. That is, we discussed that all the activities related to disasters before 2005 are.
परत एकच स्लाइड दिसते सर.
आता दिसत नाही.
It is showing management authorities. Only this slide is there.
Why it happened, I don't understand. आता दिसतंय का? थोडस लहान केलंय
Now
मी.
it is clear.
दिसतंय?
Yes,
This
sir.
is framework.
Preparedness, response, and
Disaster
recovery.
management.
Framework,
Holist-
yes. Disaster.
Holistic, integrated, proactive, and continuous process. This is. So ह्याच्यामध्ये आपण हे डिस्कस केलं की अर्लियरली बिफोर 2005 all the efforts wasted for the relief centric work, and after the enactment of Disaster Management Act, all the activities related to disaster management are working as an holistic, integrated, proactive, and continuous process. We have discussed the relation between the Disaster Management Act and how we can protect our environment by using that as a tool for the protection of environment, specifically in the COVID situation. This slide is related to the introduction of Disaster Management Act. Silent features of Disaster Management Act we have discussed. This is the institutional framework of Disaster Management Act. National Disaster Management Authority, state, district, and local authority. Local authority also the urban local bodies and rural development agencies are also incorporated in the local agency, as well as Taluka Disaster Management Authority, which is chaired by the concerned Taluka Tahsildar. We have also established the village level disaster management committee under the chairmanship of the sarpanch of that villages. This is not given in the act related to, but we DDA may have power to constitute such types of committees. As far as the district disaster management authority is concerned, these all members of the district disaster management authority, and the designation of these officers is given in this row: municipal commissioner, executive engineer, and superintendent of police, chief executive officers of Jilla Parishad are the member, and the district collector is the chairperson of that committee. Around three IS officer in this committee and one IPS officer is in this committee. And almost all the HODs of the district authority and district administration are the members of the district disaster management committee for the purpose of development of plans related to the disaster management, to incorporate the mitigative measures in their developmental plan. All the HODs are taken into the district disaster management committee. This slide is related to the power of chairpersons of the DDMA. As he is the chairperson, he is presiding over the meetings and exercise and discharge such powers and functions of the district authority by using the by consultation with the others, and in emergency situation he has power to exercise all or any of the powers of the district authority. So he can also delegate the powers of as a chairperson. Some powers he can delegate to the ADM subject to some conditions and limitation, and after condition of the post facto approval from the DDMA. So district disaster management authority shall meet at minimum 2 times in the year, and maximum whenever the chairperson may think about that it is necessary to take the meetings of district authority for the purpose of prevention of disasters, for the purpose of any response activity. He can call the meetings. Constitutions of advisory and other committee as per section 28, district authority can constitute various types of advisory and other committees. The expert from all the departments, all the various fields can be invited to for that for that such types of committee. And appointment of officer and other employees for the functioning of the District Disaster Management Authority under Section 29. The district authority can also take some other officials which they may think that is necessary for the functioning of their works. They can requisite, or they can depute the officers from the other department. It may be from private, it may be semi-government, it may be a governmental department. Power and functions of DDMA as per Section 30. It is the district planning, coordinating and implementing key body. It is responsible to prepare the disaster management plan. One is a district disaster management plan, and other is all the SOPs, the standard operating procedures related to the various disaster to responding the threatening situations. For that purpose, the SOP was prepared, and our responsibility was given to the each and every department which are concerned with that, concerned to respond such events. The district authority can identify the vulnerable area and take such other measures with, for the prevention and the mitigation purpose, for the to reduce the impact of disaster, and it can give the direction to the different department and the authority at the district and taluka level and village level to take such measures for the prevention of disasters. Monitor and implementation of the disaster management plan, which were prepared as per guideline of National Disaster Management Authority. It can lay down the guideline to be followed by the departments in their development plans and the projects. For example, एखादी एक छोटासा एक्झाम्पल घ्यायचा झाला तर काही डेव्हलपमेंट वर्क ULBच्या मार्फत होत असेल, काही म्हणजे रोडचं कन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे किंवा एखाद्या डॅमचं कन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे, किंवा त्यांचं जे काही डेव्हलपमेंटमध्ये जे काही डेव्हलपमेंट करायचं आहे, किंवा काही बिल्डिंगचं कन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे, तर त्यामध्ये अर्थक्वेक रेजिस्टंट गोष्टी किंवा आपत्तीला प्रतिबंध करणारे सर्व उपाययोजना करत आहेत किंवा नाही, या बाबीचा एक पुनर्वलोकन करणे, त्यावर मॉनिटर करणे. दॅट इज ऑल्सो अ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑथॉरिटी to lay down the such guidelines for the development plans of the different departments and ULBs, give direction to their upgradation as may be necessary for updation of their plans. Organize and coordinate the specialized training for the officers, for the volunteers, for the village level volunteers, for the response agency, for the police, for the home guard. It is a responsibility of the district authority to organize the specialized training to them and train these people for facing the threatening situation of disasters which are vulnerable, which are likely to be occur in the district. Community training and awareness program, it is also a part in the disaster management activity. For that purpose, various familiarization exercises, mock drills were conducted at regular interval by the district authority. Set up, maintain, and review a mechanism for early warnings. For the purpose of early warning, it is very necessary to innovate the different thing to get the information, to gather the information and analyze such information in interpret such information in the local language and issue as a warning to the peoples for alerting the people from the danger of that particular disaster. For example, IMD issues various guidelines for the heavy rainfall. District authority analyze all these warnings, interpret in the local language, and issue the warnings of heavy rainfall, issue the warning of floods, issue the warning of cyclones. So and coordinate the response of disaster response to minimize the Losses happened due to the disaster, to the human lives, to the livestock, to the economic losses, to the property, and to avoid the environmental degradation. They ensure that the department prepare their response plans. One thing is the disaster management plan. Second thing is a response plan. Response plan is concerned with to respond the disasters, to take the review of all the resources, to take the review of all the stakeholders, and coordination should be done between them, and give direction to the concerned department to take such measures to respond effectively, efficiently, to reduce the impact, and give advice to the local authorities in the district for the carrying out their functions, review development plans prepared by the departments, and suggest some measures to improve their plan, and to incorporate the mitigation measures, structural mitigation measures in their plan. That is also district authority done. Examine the construction of the affected area, whether all the constructions are as per the building codes, whether the existing buildings are in the condition to face the earthquake, flood, heavy rainfall. If the some vulnerable buildings is observed, then district authority can give order to the such ULBs to destroy such types of construction for the purpose of avoiding any bad incidents, to saving the lives of the people, and identify the safe buildings and the places for the evacuation purpose in case of emergency, in case of floods, in case of earthquake. आपण पाहिलं 1993 मध्ये म्हणजे जवळपास 52 गाव पूर्णचे पूर्ण नष्ट झाले, आणि त्या लोकांना म्हणजे आता तात्पुरता निवारा देणं हे आवश्यक होतं, ते पण नवीन ठिकाणावर. तर ते तात्पुरते निवारे आपल्याकडे रेडिली अवेलेबल नसतात. तर अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये by using a disaster management act, district authority can identify the safer places for the evacuation, for the establishment of the camps for the general public who are the victims of that particular disasters, establish the stockpiles of the relief and the rescue materials for the assistance to the disaster victim, sharing of the information related to the disaster management to the state government, the district plan, as I have discussed. All these things are incorporated in the district plan. The responsibility, allocation of responsibility to the department is one of the important things. Capacity building, then prompt response to the disaster and relief, procurement of the essential resources, that is also very important. The establishment of communication link at the time of emergency, plans by the different authority at the district level and their implementation. प्रत्येक विभागाने एक त्यांचा प्लॅन म्हणजे डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट प्लॅन बनवणे हे आवश्यक असतं. फॉर द प्रोव्हिजन फॉर द प्रिव्हेन्शन अँड मिटिगेशन मेजर्स आर इनकॉर्पोरेटेड ऑन दॅट प्लॅन. Provisions for taking measures relating to the capacity building of their department, to response plans and the procedures, and regularly review and update the plan is one of the factor is very important for the departmental disaster management plans. Power and function of the district authority in the event of any during a disaster time. It is very also crucial. Give direction for the release and use of resources. Use the resources. Various departments are not showing their resources that they have. So the district authority have power to give the direction to use such resources and release such resources for the purpose of the prompt response of that particular disaster. Control and restrict the vehicular traffic. As I have discussed earlier, the lockdown and all these things, in emergency situation, by using the provisions of Disaster Management Act, the district authority can control and restrict the vehicular traffic in the affected area, specifically in the affected area, control the restrict the entry of any persons in affected area, and it can be it is the responsibility of district authority to conduct the search and carry out the search and rescue operation by using the different resources with the departments have. So all these search and rescue operations have been carried out under the guidance of the district authority. District authority monitors all the activity related to the searching the peoples from the any disaster situation and carry out the search and rescue operation for in affected area. And it is also responsibility of the district authority to provide the shelter, food, drinking water, and healthcare and other services to the victims of disasters, and disposal of the unclaimed dead bodies. That is also things. Recommend to any department of the government to take such measures to avoid the impact of disaster, to minimize the impact of disaster. So district authority can recommend to any department of the government to take different types of measures, to take such specific measures to prevent the disaster situation. मी एकदा मला हे विचारायचं आहे की स्लाइड दिसतायत का?
हो सर दिसते सर. दिसते सर.
Ensure that the NGO's activities related to disaster management. मोठ्या प्रमाणात मध्ये विविध सेवाभावी संस्था पण आपत्ती व्यवस्थापनाच्या कामकाजामध्ये सहभाग घेत असतात. त्यांच्या सहभागामध्ये त्यांच्या कामांचं पण मॉनिटर करणं, त्यांच्या कामाला त्यांच्याशी कोऑर्डिनेशन करणं, that is also very important things because channelization is most important. I have experienced very interesting thing in drought of 2016. रेल्वेद्वारे पाणी लातूर जिल्ह्याला येत आहे असं जेव्हा नॅशनल न्यूजची हेडलाईन झाली, ग्लोबल न्यूजची हेडलाईन झाली, तर जगभरातून विविध म्हणजे एनजीओज लातूर जिल्ह्यामध्ये येऊ लागले आणि वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या असिस्टन्स आणि हेल्प ते ऑफर करू लागले, म्हणजे फॉर द सप्लाय लाईक सप्लाय ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वॉटर, सप्लाय ऑफ फूड टू द एनिमल्स, लाईव्ह स्टॉक्स, अशा प्रकारची मदत देण्याची त्यांची इच्छा व्यक्त व्हायला लागली. आणि ते बहुतांश एनजीओ काय करायला लागले सुरुवातीच्या काळामध्ये की आल्याबरोबर सर्वप्रथम ते लातूरला यायचे आणि लातूरच्या आसपासचे जे 2-4 गाव असतील किंवा जे काही असेल त्या ठिकाणी ते म्हणजे काहीतरी टँकर भरून पाणी सप्लाय करायचं कुठून तरी जवळून बाजूच्या जिल्ह्यावरून किंवा ज्या ठिकाणी पाणी अवेलेबल होतं तिथून पाणी आणायचं किंवा चारा आणायचं आणि ते प्रत्यक्ष ते डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करायचं. त्याचं एक अशी म्हणजे त्याची एक हे झालं की ज्या ठिकाणी आवश्यकता आहे त्या ठिकाणी तर रिलीफ जातच नव्हती आणि एकाच ठिकाणी वारंवार फ्रिक्वेंटली ती मदत तिथे जात होती. फॉर दॅट पर्पज वी हॅव एस्टॅब्लिश्ड वन सिंगल कॉन्टॅक्ट पॉइंट for channelize the relief work of the such NGOs, to channelize the assistance which they have provided to the victims of drought, farmers. तर आम्ही ते काय केलं की ते सर्वप्रथम त्यांनी केवळ ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशननी संपर्क करावा आणि ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशनच्या माध्यमातून ते ज्या ठिकाणी आवश्यकता असेल, ज्या ठिकाणी म्हणजे ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशनचे टँकर्स कमी असतील किंवा सोर्सेस ऑफ वॉटर कमी असतील अशाच ठिकाणी पाणीचा सप्लाय व्हावा, अशाच ठिकाणी इतर म्हणजे चारा किंवा इतर जे काही ते हे करत होते ते करण्यासाठी आम्ही एक व्यवस्था केली. या ऍक्ट मध्ये द नॅशनल लिस्ट ऑफ डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट हे एक म्हणजे इस्टॅब्लिश करण्यात आलेलं आहे. ऍज पर सेक्शन 42 and 43 इट इज द की एजन्सी for the purpose of training and for the purpose of capacity building, for the purpose of research in subject of disaster management, in subject of early warning and other disaster management related activities. It is located on New Delhi and it is the national level institute for the disaster management, and this institute also offers various various courses to the students. Internship also, internship, they offer internship to the graduate and postgraduate student around 6 months, and they use the stipend also to the students who are taking imparting the trainings and imparting the internship. The National Disaster Response Force has established under section 45 and 44 and 45 of the Act. The National Disaster Management Force is tasked to respond only. The responsibility of NDRF नेहमी आपण ऐकत असतो की NDRF मोठ्या शिताफीने रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन केलं किंवा मोठ्या ह्याच्यामध्ये all the personnel of the NDRF are very trained in terms of response to all types of natural as well as man-made disasters like chemical, biological, and other nuclear disasters. The NDRF is led by the Director General at their headquarters at New Delhi. It is the dedicated force to respond the various types of disaster. There are 12 battalions of NDRF. The officers of commandant rank is led by each battalion of that country, working in India as well as abroad, as per the request, as per the if government think that we need to extend our cooperation to our other countries, neighboring countries or other countries in at the time of disaster. These forces are working for the rescue operation in abroad also, and all of these forces have been appreciated by all of the around all the countries of the world, because एवढे ट्रेंड म्हणजे हे म्हणजे फोर्स आहे की प्रत्येक कितीही म्हणजे सिव्हिअर कंडिशन असेल त्यामधून रेस्क्यू करण्याची क्षमता या फोर्समध्ये आहे. त्याचबरोबर या फोर्सची एक महत्वाची म्हणजे फीचर्स आपल्याला म्हणता येईल, ते कोणत्याही कामाला ना म्हणतच नाही. म्हणजे किती स्वतःच्या जीवाची पण परवा म्हणजे स्वतःच्या जीवाचं पण वेळ आलं तर त्यावेळेस सुद्धा ते विचार करत नाही की हे करायचं, परंतु ते ट्रेंड आहेत 100%. ते म्हटलं जातं ना की आपण आमचं एक ऍक्टिव्हिटी आहे की कॉलेजेसमध्ये वगैरे NDRF चे काही ड्रिल्स वगैरे आम्ही करत असतो या 1-2 वर्षांमध्ये. तर त्यामध्ये लोक तशा प्रकारे करायचा प्रयत्न करतात. तर डोंट ट्राय दिस ॲट होम असं म्हणतात ना, ते सुरुवातीला ते बोलून ते सुरू करतात आणि ते ट्रेंड असतात आणि ते फार म्हणजे इफेक्टिव्हली ते रिस्पॉन्ड करतात कितीही क्रिटिकल सिच्युएशन असेल तर. Offenses and penalties under Disaster Management Act, the section 51 to 58 deals with offenses and penalties. I deliberately taken this slide in Marathi because each one of us know that what are the offenses and what are the penalties, the provision given in the Disaster Management Act. शासकीय कामामध्ये अडथळा आणणे किंवा एखाद्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीला शासकीय कामामध्ये मज्जाव करणे, त्यासाठी 1 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास किंवा दंड किंवा दोन्हीही हे त्यामध्ये होऊ शकते. एखादी कृती ज्यामुळे जीवित वित्तहानी होणे, त्यासाठी 2 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास म्हणजे जवळपास 2 years ऑफ इम्प्रिझनमेंट ची त्यामध्ये प्रोव्हिजन करण्यात आलेली आहे. त्याचबरोबर आपत्कालीन मदतीसाठी खोटा दावा करणे, 2 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास व दंड अशी तिची तरतूद त्यामध्ये करण्यात आलेली आहे. त्याचबरोबर आपत्कालीन वस्तू किंवा पैसे किंवा इतर साधने स्वतःसाठी किंवा स्वतःच्या फायद्यासाठी वापरणे, इट लीड्स टू बी इम्प्रिझनमेंट ऑफ 2 years और पेनल्टी और म्हणजे एखाद्या रिलीफ मटेरियल असेल ते स्वतःसाठी किंवा स्वतःच्या फायद्यासाठी जर ते वापरलं. त्याचबरोबर टू स्प्रेड द र्युमर्स, आपत्तीबाबत खोटी अफवा पसरवणे, 1 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास आणि दंड ची प्रोव्हिजन यामध्ये आहे. आपत्ती काळात साधने, इमारती, विहीर किंवा कोणतेही साधने देण्यासाठी टाळाटाळ करणे, एखाद्या आपत्तीला प्रॉम्प्टली रिस्पॉन्ड करण्यासाठी एखादी रिसोर्सेस जर लागत असेल, ते कुणाच्याही मालकीचे असेल, ते एखाद्या खाजगी व्यक्तीचा असेल किंवा प्रशासनाचा असेल किंवा सेमी गव्हर्नमेंटच्या अंडरमध्ये असेल, तर ते देण्यासाठी जर टाळाटाळ होत असेल तर त्यासाठी सुद्धा 1 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास किंवा दंड किंवा दोन्ही देण्याची तरतूद यामध्ये आहे. त्याचबरोबर वरिष्ठांनी किंवा वरिष्ठ कार्यालयाने दिलेली जबाबदारी पार न पाडणे किंवा ती जबाबदारी पार पाडण्यासाठी टाळाटाळ करणे, त्यासाठी 1 वर्षापर्यंत तुरुंगवास व दंडची यामध्ये तरतूद करण्यात आलेली आहे. त्याचबरोबर पॉवर ऑफ रिक्विजिशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेस प्रोव्हिजन्स अंडर सेक्शन 65 and in chapter 2 disaster district authority section 33 is deals with the requisition of resources. जिल्हा प्राधिकरणाला जर वाटले की एखाद्या व्यक्तीची सेवा या आपत्तीच्या रिस्पॉन्ससाठी किंवा आपत्तीच्या व्यवस्थापनासाठी हे आवश्यक आहे, तर डिस्ट्रिक्ट अथॉरिटी कॅन रिक्विजिट द सर्व्हिसेस ऑफ दॅट पर्सन or that department or that officers by using this provision. आणि त्याचबरोबर जसं आपण सांगितलं की इतर जे रिसोर्सेस आहेत लाईक बिल्डिंग्स, लाईक other premises for establishment of COVID centers, we have requisite various buildings for the quarantine and isolation centers by using the provision of this act, section 65 and 33. We have also requisited the services of various personnel for the responding for the works of the COVID management services premises. We can requisite under this act. Direction to the media, we can district authority can give the direction to the media as per section 67 for the control of any audio or video visual media or such other means of communications which as may be available to carry for the any warning of disaster. एखाद्या आपत्तीची सूचना पूर्व सूचना देण्यासाठी सुद्धा एखादी अवेलेबल कम्युनिकेशन मीन्सचा वापर म्हणजे ते वापर करण्याचं आणि ते वॉर्निंग इश्यू करण्यासाठी ते means of communication can be used by the district authority. Bar of jurisdiction of the court, section 71, no court except the Supreme Court of High Court shall have jurisdiction to enter any suit of proceeding. Anyone want to make a complaint for the under this Disaster Management Act, he can make a complaint before the chairperson of the central, state or district authority. Review, update and amendment committee. It is very good news to all of you, all of us of Latur district. For the amendment of this Disaster Management Act, one committee, review committee have been set up. The district collector Latur and the Pune are the member of that committee. म्हणजे पदसिद्ध अध्यक्ष आहेत. जिल्हाधिकारी जरी बदलले तरी जे कोणी जिल्हाधिकारी नंतरच येईल तर तो अमेंडमेंट कमिटीमध्ये तो आपण म्हणजे ते एक प्रतिनिधित्व ते करेल, रिप्रेझेंटेशन आपला करू शकतो. त्यासाठी जर ॲज अ लॉ स्टुडंट इफ यू थिंक दॅट देर इज अ नीड और देर इज अ डिफिशियन्सी इन द ऍक्ट, हे ह्याच्यामध्ये इन्कॉर्पोरेट व्हायला पाहिजे होतं किंवा हे असंच कुणाला काही वाटत असेल, दे कॅन सजेस्ट some measures to which they need to, which they think to incorporate in the act. ते तुम्ही लेखी स्वरूपामध्ये माननीय जिल्हाधिकारी महोदयांकडे देऊ शकता आणि त्याचा विचार सुद्धा होऊ शकतो. बिकॉज द डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर लातूर इज द मेंबर ऑफ रिव्ह्यू अँड अमेंडमेंट कमिटी ऑफ द डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट 2005. थोडंसं आता 3-4 स्लाइड्स आपण लॉकडाऊन आणि कोविड डिझास्टर मध्ये जे काही उपाययोजना करण्यात आले त्या संदर्भात आपण चर्चा करणार आहोत. त्यामध्ये डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट अँड लॉकडाऊन, व्हाय डिड द गव्हर्नमेंट यूज इट्स पॉवर अंडर द डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट फॉर द लॉकडाऊन. हे काही क्वेश्चन आन्सर आहेत. मी म्हणजे तुम्हाला इझिली अंडरस्टँड व्हावं या उद्देशाने हे अशा प्रकारचं मी तयार केलेलं आहे. For the purpose of declaring the pandemic as a disaster, WHO already declared the COVID as a global pandemic. For the purpose of declaring it as a disaster, the Disaster Management Act has been used, and no provision in the Epidemic Act 1897 to restrict the movement of the people, to enforce the लॉकडाऊन सारखं प्रोव्हिजन म्हणजे एपिडेमिक ऍक्ट मध्ये, जे की फार जुनी आणि फार एक मार्गदर्शक अशी ऍक्ट आहे 1897 मध्ये इनॅक्ट झालेली, त्यामध्ये अशा प्रकारचं कोणतंही प्रोव्हिजन नसल्या कारणाने डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट हॅज यूज टू इन्फोर्स द लॉकडाऊन अँड टू प्रिव्हेंट द स्प्रेड ऑफ कोविड-19. कोविडचं स्प्रेड होण्यापासून बचाव करण्यासाठी हे डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट आणि लॉकडाऊनची जे काही मेजर्स घेण्यात आले, because the virus is new for all. How the behavior of that virus is, we don't know that time. So the national level lockdowns has been enforced not only in our country but around all the countries have taken such measures to close all the activity, restrict the restrict the movement of the people. What were the section under the which the COVID-19 was declared as a national disaster under section 6 and 10 of the law. The COVID declared as a national disaster. How does the Disaster Management Act empower the government to take the decision to deal with the pandemic, including deciding on relief for the victims and special measures for the needy person, special measures for the other divang peoples, victims of disasters, and more vulnerable peoples of the society. त्यांच्यासाठी पण त्यांना empowerment करण्यासाठी डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट ऍक्ट काम करतं. Are penalties under the law stricter than the IPC? Yes, as the law provides for a detention of the person for defying the government orders. Any disobey of the government order resulting into the imprisonment, that is the one of the feature of this act. And it is very powerful, as we have discussed. It can be requisite the services of the peoples. Does this provide for taking over powers of the state government by the central power of the state, central government and the district level separately defined? So the interference between the federal system is not possible. So it is very suitable and it is very सुटसुटीत आपण ज्याला म्हणतो अशा प्रकारचं म्हणजे त्यामध्ये पॉवर्स आणि अधिकार दिलेले आहेत. Then this is one of the slide which is related to containment plan. Containment plan is one of the measures to contain the spread of COVID-19 as per the containment plan version 2. सुरुवातीच्या काळामध्ये आपण पाहिलं असेल मोठमोठ्या म्हणजे कोविडच्या कालावधीमध्ये मोठ्या भागांमध्ये कंटेनमेंट एरिया असं मार्क केला जायचा आणि ते सगळं त्या ठिकाणचं मुवमेंट क्लोज करायचं. त्यामध्ये लोकांमध्ये भीती पण होती आणि त्यामुळे काही लोक म्हणजे ते आजार सांगण्यासाठी पण हे होत होते. परंतु ॲज पर द गाईडलाईन ऑफ द कंटेनमेंट प्लॅन अँड द गव्हर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, the demarcation of the containment plan under Disaster Management Act has been enforced. पोलीस कव्हरेज तिथं देण्यात आलं होतं. त्याचबरोबर नोडल ऑफिसर अपॉइंटेड फॉर इच कंटेनमेंट झोन्स बाय दी लोकल म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन अँड काउन्सिल्स. कॉन्टॅक्ट ट्रेसिंग त्यामध्ये त्यासाठी एक RRTs मध्ये रॅपिड रिस्पॉन्स टीम्स तयार करून कॉन्टॅक्ट ट्रेसिंग करण्यात आली. त्याचबरोबर व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुप्स created for the each containment zone, and logbooks has been developed. Surveillance has been done. Requisite the services of the private doctors and paramedical staffs for the COVID center isolation centers, because the available human power is not enough for the treatment of the patients of the COVID-19. So the requisition was important that time. Testing through the infrared thermometer, pulse oximeter, all the resident of more than 50 years found in the electrode roll. आपण पाहिलं असेल वेगवेगळे सर्वे घरोघरी जाऊन सर्वे करण्यात आले. दॅट इज ऑल्सो पार्ट ऑफ द कंटेनमेंट प्लॅन. त्याचनंतर प्रिव्हेंटिव्ह आणि मिटिगेटिव्ह मेजर्स काय महत्वाचे घेण्यात आले त्या कोविडच्या कालावधीमध्ये ते ह्यामध्ये सांगितलेलं आहे. द कोरोना कंट्रोल रूम हॅज बीन एस्टॅब्लिश्ड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ 24/7. Counselors are appointed for the counseling purpose. It is the prime responsibility of the counselors to counsel the each and every patient, inquire the people, all the patients, म्हणजे त्या प्रत्येक पेशंटच्या मध्ये एक भावना निर्माण व्हावी कुठं ना कुठं की आम्हाला म्हणजे क्वारंटाईन सेंटर मध्ये आणून भरती केलं आणि आम्हाला कुणी काही विचारत नाही, ही भावना दूर व्हावी त्यासाठी प्रत्येक पेशंटला प्रत्येक दिवशी एक कॉल काउन्सिलरच्या माध्यमातून, all the counselors are well trained, they are consulting with the district women and development department, ट्रेंड असे काउन्सिलर प्रत्येक वेळी इन्क्वायरी करायचे आणि प्रत्येकाच्या मनामध्ये भावना यायची की काही ना काही आम्हाला विचारणारे कोणी आहे, आमच्या हेल्थची इन्क्वायरी करत आहे, त्याचबरोबर जे काही त्यांना आवश्यकता असेल त्याची पण इन्क्वायरी ते करत होते. त्याचबरोबर नोडल ऑफिसर्स फॉर ईच अँड एव्हरी वर्क फॉर द स्मूथ कोऑर्डिनेशन अँड फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ डिव्हिजन ऑफ वर्क, nodal officers were appointed, and the communication, as you have seen various and each and every day, the district collector taking the daily Facebook live for easy communication between the administration and the citizens. म्हणजे रोज काहीतरी नवीन गाईडलाईन यायच्या आणि सुरुवातीच्या कालावधीमध्ये प्रॉपरली म्हणजे लोकांना जास्त काही काम नव्हतं त्यावेळेस, कोणी काहीतरी मेसेज केला तर ते चुकीच्या पण बातम्या र्युमर्स पसरण्याचं प्रमाण फार वाढलं होतं. त्यासाठी डेली फेसबुक लाईव्ह फॉर इझी कम्युनिकेशन ते पण माननीय जिल्हाधिकारी यांच्या माध्यमातून करण्यात आलं आणि लोकांना त्याची दररोज काय ऍक्टिव्हिटी, काय मेजर्स घेत आहेत गव्हर्नमेंट, त्याचबरोबर नॅशनल लेवलची काय परिस्थिती आहे, स्टेटची परिस्थिती काय, डिस्ट्रिक्टची परिस्थिती काय, या सर्व बाबींची माहिती व्हायची. त्याचबरोबर कंटेनमेंट प्लॅन आपण तयार केला, वेबसाईटवर त्याची माहिती लोकांना उपलब्ध करून दिली. प्रायव्हेट हॉस्पिटल्स आल्सो यूज टू हॅलो प्रायव्हेट डॉक्टर्स अँड anti-corona police and the initiative of unique idea of the district administration that establishment of anti-corona police and anti-corona force has been established at the villages. More than 12,000 volunteers, young volunteers are registered in the anti-corona force. At last, I want to share some experiences, recent experiences of flood 2021. The unprecedented flood occurred in September.
Please mute, sir.
म्यूट झालं का त्यांनी?
Sir, please continue, sir.
ओके ओके. तर म्हणजे जवळच आपण 2021 सप्टेंबर मध्ये we have faced the unprecedented flood occurred in the September. म्हणजे हे फार म्हणजे एकदम अनएक्सपेक्टेड पण होतं आणि प्रत्येक वेळी म्हणजे सिटीजन्स पण म्हणतात, ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, पत्रकार म्हणतात की आपण दुष्काळी भागात राहतो आणि फ्लडची वगैरे आपल्याला म्हणजे असा काही धोका वाटत नाही, पण सर्व अनएक्सपेक्टेड होतं. 126% rainfall reported in the year during the monsoon 2021. म्हणजे 126% रेनफॉल रिपोर्ट झालं आणि ते जवळपास 2 दिवसामध्ये जवळपास अतिवृष्टी झाली आणि मांजरा धरण आहे जे की मेन सोर्स ऑफ द वॉटर सप्लाय अँड इट इज द रिव्हर इज गोइंग थ्रू द स्मॉल डिस्ट्रिक्ट. सो in that situation अनप्रेसिडेंटेड रेनफॉल मुळे जवळपास एकाच रात्रीमध्ये 106 लोक त्यामध्ये अडकले. All the stranded persons are safely rescued without a single life by efforts of the district administration. We are also त्यांना आपल्याकडून म्यूट करता येते का? Rescue operation.
I request all the participants, please mute yourself. Your voice is disturbing to all.
तर ते म्हणजे
कंटिन्यू साकेब सर.
फ्लडची आपण सिव्हिरिटी पाहून त्यानंतर काय करण्यात आलं की एनडीआरएफ डिप्लॉयड ॲट द राईट टाइम. म्हणजे जवळपास आपण सिव्हिरिटी पाहून आणि लोकल रिसोर्सेस पासून आपण सर्च अँड रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन म्हणजे सकाळपासूनच सुरू केलं आणि एक वेल कोऑर्डिनेटेड अँड एक सिस्टमॅटिक पद्धतीचा असं हे ऑपरेशन झालं आणि ज्याचा रिझल्ट हा होता की जेवढे काही अडकलेले व्यक्ती होते त्यापैकी एकाही व्यक्तीचा जीव गेलेला नाही आणि फायनल जो रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन होता इट वॉज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट and the 3 person from one family, म्हणजे पती पत्नी आणि मुलगा अशा प्रकारे ती फॅमिली म्हणजे पोहरेगाव येथे अडकली होती आणि ती जवळपास 2 दिवस होत आले होते. त्यांच्याकडे म्हणजे जेवण करण्यासाठी ते काही साहित्य ते संपले होते. फ्लडची सिव्हिरिटी पण कमी झाली होती, परंतु भूक आणि ह्या पाणी म्हणजे पिण्याचे पाणी या बाबीसाठी ते आता त्यांची अडचण होत होती. त्यासाठी वी हॅव डिप्लॉइड द हेलिकॉप्टर फ्रॉम द इंडियन एअरफोर्स and the helicopter came थोडस उशिरा तो आला, परंतु in the early morning of 13th September 29th September the rescue operation has been carried out under the guidance of district collector Prithviraj sir. I was the part of that rescue operation. It was the first airlifting rescue operation in our district, and I think in Marathwada also. All 3 persons were rescued. You have seen, तुम्ही पाहिलंच असेल हे व्हिडिओ. These all activity has been done under the Disaster Management Act, and by using this act we can protect our environment. We can also we can take the various measures for the conservation of water. We can revive the water bodies by using the mitigating measures. We can also fight against the drought by using the structural mitigation of conservation of water, the measures like rainwater harvesting, म्हणजे झाडं वगैरे लावणे. One of the very good initiative by Laturkar that we have taken from the Latur workshop team. ते प्रत्येकाने त्यामध्ये सहभाग घ्यावा, यही माझी याकडून विनंती आहे. त्यामध्ये कोणताही ऑर्गनायझेशन, कोणती संस्था त्यामध्ये नाही, फक्त एक लातूरकर म्हणून त्यामध्ये तुम्ही सहभाग नोंदवू शकता. त्यामध्येही सर्वांनी, मी तर अजूनपर्यंत केलेलं नाही, परंतु मला ते फार म्हणजे त्यांची जी संकल्पना आहे फार आवडते. त्यामुळे मी सर्वांना अपील करेन की त्यामध्ये आपण सहभागी व्हावा. आणि होप ऑल यू आर एन्जॉय दिस लेक्चर. Some important theoretical part also I have taken in this presentation, because you must know what the Disaster Management Act and how it works. What is the ethos of that act, you must know. So that's why I have taken these some theoretical parts in the presentation. So that's all about my presentation, madam. Thank you, madam.
थँक्यू सर.
Thank you, sir.
सर एक माझा
Thank you, sir.
एक मिनिट. Let Anjali continue. She will guide us properly. There will be one short question answer session also. Anjali, proceed
Yes.
to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for such well elaborated resolution of complicated situation like disaster with its management and related description of act. Also, you have been given awareness of offences and penalties regarding it. Also, active plan of management of COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for such an enlightening session, sir, and for your healthy and safety concerns for all types of disasters. Thank you once again, sir. Now, this webinar is open for questions from students. By raising their hands, I will call one by one and you can start your question with your name.
So, ma'am, let me ask one question. साकेब सर, जेव्हा तुम्ही जी कोविड पॅन्डेमिक सिच्युएशन आहे ते हँडल करत होता आणि सडनली आमच्या सगळ्यांवर 44 कलम लागू करण्यात आलं, कर्फ्यू लागू करण्यात आलं, आणि इट वॉज व्हेरी डिफिकल्ट टाइम फॉर अस टू स्टे ॲट होम आणि त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी हे करणं. पण तुमच्या एक अधिकारी दृष्टिकोनातून जेव्हा तुम्ही या पॅन्डेमिक सिच्युएशन मध्ये काम करत होतात, तेव्हा तुम्हाला जनतेच्या रोषाला सामोरं जावं लागलं का?
हो मॅडम, ही फार डिफिकल्ट सिच्युएशन होती प्रत्येकासाठी, नॉट ओनली फॉर द सिटीजन्स, नॉट ओनली फॉर
सर आय रिक्वेस्ट you stop sharing your screen so that we can have your video. Yes sir, thank you.
It is very difficult time for each and everyone, not only for the citizens but also the all this administrative units also. टीचिंग प्रत्येक सेक्टर यामध्ये म्हणजे हे झालेलं होतं. आणि सुरुवातीचा जो काळ होता तो फार म्हणजे क्रुशल होता आणि फार लोकांना पण माहिती नव्हतं जास्त या संदर्भात. आणि आपल्या देशाची सुंदरता ही आहे की कोणतीही गोष्ट, आणि स्पेसिफिकली लातूरसाठी सांगतो की लातूरचे नागरिक एवढे म्हणजे संयमी आहेत की प्रत्येक बाबीमध्ये प्रशासनाला त्यांनी सहकार्यच केलं. कोणत्याही प्रकारचं रोषाला सामोरं जाण्यासारखी परिस्थिती जिल्हा प्रशासन असेल किंवा मला वाटतं कोणत्याही इतर जिल्ह्यांना सुद्धा अशा प्रकारचा रोष नव्हता. हा, इन केस ऑफ सेकंड लॉकडाऊन, इन केस ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल लॉकडाऊन, काही प्रमाणात काही व्यापाऱ्यांचा वगैरे रोष होता, परंतु आफ्टर कन्सल्टेशन अँड आफ्टर series of meetings with them, they are also convinced for that measures of short term lockdown. सो अशा प्रकारची परिस्थिती नव्हती, कारण की प्रत्येकाने आपली जबाबदारी हे समजून घेतली होती. तर मला असं वाटतं की यामध्ये काही अशा प्रकारची घटना घडलेली नाही.
थँक्यू सर.
सर एक प्रश्न होता. सर, प्राण्यांचं जे रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन असते, समजा असं वाघ, सिंह वगैरे शेजारी वगैरे येतात, ते आपत्ती व्यवस्थापन कायद्याच्या अंतर्गत त्यांचं रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन चालते का सर?
फार सुंदर प्रश्न आहे सर आपला. बेसिकली अशा प्रकारच्या जे काही घटना होतात रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन संदर्भात, जीव कोणताही असो ते जीव आहे शेवटी, आणि to save the human lives is the prime responsibility of a disaster management. It is the prime responsibility of disaster management. And the second priority काय आहे की to save the lives of animals, livestock. आणि तिसरी प्रायोरिटी आहे की इकॉनॉमिक लॉस रोखायचे, प्रॉपर्टीला जे काही डॅमेज होणार आहेत ते कमी करायचे. हे तिसरी म्हणजे ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह ऑफ आहे डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंटचं. तर यामध्ये वन विभाग एक आपल्या प्रशासनामध्ये एक असतो, फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट, various officers, inspectors are there for responding such types of disasters. And as a district authority can intervene in this in their rescue operation. And district authority can guide by using the provisions of Disaster Management Act. We can conduct such types of activity, but such operations will be handled by the forest department only, because they are trained to handle such types of disasters.
Thank you, sir. Rohan.
Yeah, Anjali ma'am.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah, can I speak something?
Hello.
Yes, sure.
Yes, you may. Yes, you may, sir.
Yeah. Usmani sir, just I want to ask you one question that during this COVID pandemic, what do you think that what is the role of NGO in overall disaster management in Latur district?
So it is very good question. The administrative alone can't do anything. The response from all these stakeholders is very much importance, because we are live as a team. We are living as a different stakeholder, but the responsibility of each and every administrative unit is different. But the role of NGO is very important, because the NGO having a different diverse personality, they have different resources, they have म्हणजे वेगळ्या वेगळ्या प्रकारच्या लोकांशी त्यांचा संपर्क, रिसोर्सेस, आणि त्याचबरोबर त्यांच्या एक्सपर्टाईज याचा वापर म्हणजे जिल्हा प्रशासन कोविडमध्ये पर्टिक्युलरली किंवा इतर आपत्तीमध्ये निश्चितपणे होऊ शकतो. म्हणजे त्यांचं युटिलायझेशन व्हायला पाहिजे, त्यांच्याशी कोऑर्डिनेशन व्हायला पाहिजे, आणि त्यासाठी जिल्हा प्रशासन ही नेहमी सर्वतोपरी प्रयत्न करत असतो की त्यांच्यासोबत एक चांगल्या प्रकारचा एक कोऑर्डिनेशन निर्माण व्हावा. आणि आपला प्रश्न चांगला आहे की प्रत्येक एनजीओनी पण स्वतःहून जिल्हा प्रशासनाला मदत करण्याची एक भावना जर ठेवली तर आपल्या कोणत्याही प्रकारच्या आपत्तीचा सामना आपण करू शकतो. स्पेसिफिकली फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ एन्व्हायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन, NGO can play a very important role, because प्रशासनाच्या ला काही लिमिटेशन्स असतात की जे काही स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटचे गाईडलाईन्स असतात, केंद्र शासनाचे गाईडलाईन्स, त्याप्रमाणे त्यांना कार्य करावं लागतं. पण एनजीओ आर इंडिपेंडेंट टू डू देअर सोशल ऍक्टिव्हिटी, सो दे कॅन चूज द फील्ड ऑफ देअर सोशल ऍक्टिव्हिटी. तर त्यामध्ये ते कंट्रीब्यूट करू शकतो आणि जिल्हा प्रशासनाला निश्चितच ते फार फायदेमंद ठरू शकतात आणि फॉर द वेलफेअर ऑफ दिस सोसायटी दे कॅन contribute their efforts with their socio-economic activity.
Yeah, one more question that I want to ask with the permission of the coordinator.
Sure.
Yeah. So, is there any
Yes,
proper frame? Yeah. Is there any proper framework available for disaster management? Because we can see whenever the disaster happens, might be anything. And then the government or all the bodies are in the confusion mode that how we can quick respond to that disaster. Because in a disaster time, the important thing is the quick response. And how much time you take to respond that disaster and save the life of the people. So is there any proper framework available in India that we can include all the public bodies or the NGOs or the people? Or any because all the administrative process are there, the people are there to manage that thing, but at ground level, how you're managing these things, like environmental aspect, like just I want to give one example so you can clearly explain that my point, that if we see most of the time environmental thing, like during here by the national forest, most of the animals, those who are protected, okay, they are just killed due to the various accidents, okay, on the road. So we have seen that most of the villagers nearby that national forest, okay, they are just protecting those animals, and they have the active participation in such type of activities. So in that way, just I want to ask you, is there any proper framework is available to respond quickly to the disaster?
As far as the response mechanism is concerned, the proper mechanism has been established, has been constituted by the district authority. Each and every department has given the responsibility to respond from their resources. And as you have asked the inclusiveness of all part of the community, all part of the society, the villagers, the NGOs, the other local bodies like ULBs, the inclusion is play very important role. Yes, we have the district authority is not least concerning with the decision making, but the district authority have established various types of experts committee, various types of other advisory committee, various types of search and rescue teams of volunteers, whether it may be from government, semi-government, NGOs, or other peoples. We are educating the peoples of general peoples also related to the various disasters. यामध्ये हे असू शकतं की ते रीच आमचं जो आहे ते म्हणजे 100% होत नसेल, परंतु दरवर्षी जे ठरलेले जे काही आमचे एक्सरसाइजेस असतात ते त्यांचं इन्क्लुजन करण्यासाठी आम्ही प्रयत्न करत असतो. दॅट इज द पार्ट ऑफ द डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट. त्यासाठीच मी सुरुवातीलाच म्हटलं की डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंट इज नॉट द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ गव्हर्नमेंट और ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. each one of us work as a disaster manager. म्हणजे प्रत्येकाने ऍज अ डिझास्टर मॅनेजर असं वर्क असं प्रकारे वर्क करणं आवश्यक आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल आपल्या घरी समजा एखाद्या प्रकारची कोणती घटना घडली, एखादं गॅसला आगच लागली असं आपण विचार करू, किंवा शॉर्ट सर्किट झाली, किंवा भूकंप झाला, तर त्यावेळेस सुद्धा आपल्याला काय करणं आवश्यक आहे? एक तर स्वतःचा जीव वाचवायचा आहे, घरच्यांचा वाचवायचा आहे, त्याचबरोबर नागरिकांचा वाचवायचा आहे. आणि जसं तुम्ही म्हटलात की ॲनिमल्स, मुकी जनावर आहेत, त्यांच्यासाठी पण आपल्याला काहीतरी हे करायचं आहे. तर हे करण्यासाठी आपल्याला प्रत्येकाने एक ॲज अ रिस्पॉन्सिबल पर्सन, ट्रेन पर्सन म्हणून आपल्याला हे त्यासाठी वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे प्रशिक्षण असतात डिझास्टर मॅनेजमेंटचे. त्यामध्ये आपल्याला स्वतःला ट्रेन करायचं आहे. की फक्त हे म्हणून बसायचं नाही की दिस इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द गव्हर्नमेंट. एखादा रोड ऍक्सिडेंट झाला, तुम्ही विचार केला की गव्हर्नमेंट मशिनरी त्याला रिस्पॉन्ड करते, त्यांना मदत देते, त्यांना हॉस्पिटलाइज करते, ते पुढील जे काही प्रक्रिया होईल ते होत असते. परंतु जेव्हा ऍक्सिडेंट होतो तर इमिजिएटली त्या व्यक्तीला जर आपण हॉस्पिटलाइज केलं किंवा फर्स्ट एड केलं तर त्या व्यक्तीचा जीव वाचू शकतो. आणि गव्हर्नमेंट मशिनरी येणे आणि ऍक्सिडेंट होणे त्यामधला जो कालावधी असतो त्याला आपण गोल्डन टाइम म्हणतो. That is very crucial time. So who is the golden time responder? The first responder. Who is the responder? First responder. The general public, the general citizen, villagers are the first responder to any disaster. For that purpose, they need to train. They should be aware from all these activities. So the more efforts should be given, needs to given for that initiative, as you have mentioned. We will also try to do such types of activity in current year and next year also. So thank you very much for your good question. Hope you understand and hope you got it my point.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I request, this will be the last question. Rohan sir, you can ask your question.
थँक्यू मॅडम. मला माहिती आहे की वेळ खूप झालेला आहे, पण एक थोडं शब्दात विचारतो सर की सर्वप्रथम तर मी आपल्या सर्वांचे म्हणजे जी आपल्या जी टीम आहे त्या सर्वांचे मनापासून आभार आणि धन्यवाद व्यक्त करतो की संकटाच्या काळामध्ये जे सर्वात अगोदर कोणी धावून येत असेल तर ते तुम्ही आहात. कारण जसं की सीमेवरती आपले जवान मदत करतात, ते तिथं आपल्या प्राणाचे आहुती देतात, त्याचप्रमाणे इथं जेव्हा कधी संकट येतं त्या संकटाला सामोरे जाण्यासाठी तत्पर तुम्ही असता, जे की असा तुम्ही एकमेव घटक आहात की बऱ्याच जणांना ही कन्सेप्ट अजून माहिती नाहीये की नेमकं ही गोष्ट काय आहे आणि कशासाठी. जेव्हा फक्त आम्ही टीव्ही वरती पाहतो की कुठली तरी घटना घडते आणि तिथं आपली मदत होते, जी की तुम्ही प्राणाची म्हणजे पणाला लावून तिथं मदत करता. तर माझा क्वेश्चन हा आहे सर की
अगदी बरोबर रोहन. मी पेपरला फोटो पाहिला होता की साकेब सर हेलिकॉप्टर मध्ये बसलेले होते आणि त्याच्यासाठी त्यांना नंतर अमित देशमुख सरांनी अप्रिशिएट पण केलं होतं. नक्कीच ही जी गोष्ट तुम्ही बोललात ही आम्ही अप्रिशिएट करतो. यू मे कंटिन्यू रोहन.
हो मॅम. आणि मला तेच म्हणायचं की आम्ही जेव्हा कधी फक्त टीव्ही वरती पाहतो किंवा प्रत्यक्ष पाहतो तर त्या संकटामध्ये धावून जाण्यासाठी जी मेंटल प्रिपरेशन असते सर, ती नेमकी त्यासाठी नेमकं जे तिथलं जी मेंटल ॲबिलिटी असते त्यासाठी काय केलं जातं. आणि दुसरं एक क्वेश्चन म्हणजे स्त्रियांचं यामध्ये खरंच योगदान किती आहे का?
फार सुंदर असा क्वेश्चन आपण विचारलेला आहे. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थँक्यू रोहन फॉर युअर काइंड वर्ड्स अँड थँक्यू डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर प्रिया पाटील मॅडम फॉर युअर काइंड वर्ड्स. फार महत्वाचा प्रश्न आहे की यासाठी मेंटली कसं तुम्ही प्रिपेअर करता. हे बघा की कोणतंही जेव्हा आपण काम करत असतो त्यासाठी आपलं 100% एफर्ट देणं हे आवश्यक असतं. प्रत्येक बाबीचं सुयोग्य असं म्हणजे तिचं एक रेखीकरण आवश्यक असतं, त्याचं योग्य ज्ञान घेणं आवश्यक असतं. ते फार महत्वाचं असतं. अर्धवट ज्ञान किंवा अर्धवट हे किंवा कॉन्फिडन्स नसतं एखाद्या गोष्टीचं, तर अशा परिस्थितीमध्ये तुम्ही मेंटली तयार राहू शकत नाही फॉर टू रिस्पॉन्डिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ इमर्जन्सी सिच्युएशन. तर तुम्हाला एकतर बेसिकली तुम्हाला प्रॉपर अभ्यास पण करणे आवश्यक आहे. दुसरा तुम्हाला त्या बाबीचा सर्वतोपरी एक म्हणजे त्याची माहिती घेणं आणि कंटिन्युअसली त्या गोष्टीला टच राहणं. आणि हे कधी होऊ शकतो, या प्रकारचा कॉन्फिडन्स तुमच्यामध्ये कधी बिल्ड होईल जेव्हा तुम्ही 100% एफर्ट्स तुम्ही तुमच्या कामामध्ये द्याल. त्यावेळेस कोणत्याही फील्डमध्ये असो तुम्ही, हे पर्टिक्युलर म्हणून म्हणत नाही, परंतु कोणत्याही प्रत्येकाच्या जीवनामध्ये प्रत्येकाच्या फील्डमध्ये अशा प्रकारच्या घटना येतच असतात. सोसायटी ॲट अ लार्ज, वी आर वर्किंग फॉर सोसायटी ॲट अ लार्ज, बट प्रत्येकाच्या जीवनामध्ये गाव स्तरावर असतील, आपल्या मोहल्ला स्तरावर असतील किंवा आपल्या घरांमध्ये सुद्धा अशा प्रकारच्या हे असतात. तर त्यामध्ये फक्त एकच आपण विचार करायचा आहे, 100% एफर्ट्स माझं 100% मी यामध्ये कसं काय देऊ शकेल. आणि जेव्हा आपण 100% द्यायला तयार असतो, आपलं सर्व काही त्यामध्ये आपण त्यामध्ये काय म्हणतात की त्या गुंतून जातो त्या गोष्टीमध्ये, तर त्यावेळेस ह्या बाबी शक्य होतात. विदाउट 100% एफर्ट्स you can't do such types of activity because त्याच्यामध्ये कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन पण लागतो, त्याच्यामध्ये एक इच्छाशक्ती पण लागते आणि त्याचबरोबर मानसिक तयारी लागते आणि त्याचबरोबर फिजिकल पॉवर ऑल्सो. स्वतःच्या तब्येतीची पण आपल्याला काळजी घेणं आवश्यक आहे. कारण की मी फ्लडच्या एक जवळपास माझ्या वाटतं 15 ते 20 दिवसापूर्वी माझं पाय फ्रॅक्चर होतं. परंतु त्या फ्लडची सिच्युएशन मध्ये माझी म्हणजे मी स्वतःहून त्यामध्ये सहभागी होऊन म्हणजे जिल्हाधिकाऱ्यांनी सुद्धा त्या गोष्टीला म्हणजे हे केलं की आपण जेव्हा कधी कोणत्याही गोष्टीमध्ये हे करत असतो 100% आपलं तिथं योगदान देणं आवश्यक आहे. आणि कोणत्याही फील्डमध्ये जेव्हा आपण असतो तर त्याचं व्यवस्थितपणे त्याचं अभ्यास करणं, त्याचं एक व्यवस्थित रीडिंग असेल किंवा प्रॅक्टिकली जे काही एक्सपिरियन्स असेल ते घेणे आवश्यक असतं.
थँक्यू सर.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for the creamline questions and for valuable answers, sir. There is kindly a note for all students. There is feedback link on our official group to fill up and get certificates for attendance of webinar. Now,
मॅडम माझा महत्वाचा
may I, sir?
Okay.
Yes.
हॅलो.
You may
नमस्कार
ask.
सर. नमस्कार सर. नमस्कार मॅडम. माझं नाव प्रभाकर माळवे, फॉर्म परभणी. सर आता हे कोविड काळामध्ये आपण हे कोविड पॅन्डेमिक वरती एवढं काम केलं, सर्व गोष्टी झाल्या, परंतु एक मी स्वतः आता एक अनुभवतोय की फर्स्ट टू फिफ्थ स्टँडर्डचे जे ग्रामीण भागातले शेतकऱ्यांची मुलं आहेत, यांच्या 2 वर्ष शाळा बंद राहिल्या आणि यांच्या पालकांच्या आणि त्या मुलांच्या मनावर जो परिणाम झालाय 2 वर्षामध्ये पूर्णपणे शाळा बंद असल्यामुळे, शाळा सुरू असताना सुद्धा म्हणजे आई वडील शेतकरी ते त्या मुलांना शिकवू शकत नाहीत, घरी त्यांचा फॉलोअप करू शकत नाहीत. परंतु या कोविड काळामध्ये तर त्या काहीच त्यांच्यासाठी शैक्षणिक उपाययोजना झाल्या नाहीत आणि यांचं भविष्य आता पुढे चालून अंधारामध्ये आहे. आता त्यांना काही मुलांना दुर्गम भागात तर असं आहे की त्यांना मी कुठल्या वर्गात आहे हेच माहिती नाहीये या काळामध्ये. त्यांच्यासाठी आपल्या आपत्ती व्यवस्थापन जिल्हा प्रशासनाकडून किंवा कुठल्याही एनजीओ कडून किंवा कुठल्याच असं म्हणजे गाव स्तरावर सुद्धा उपाययोजना झालेल्या नाहीये. आता मी माझ्या भागामध्ये काही असं काम करण्याचा प्रयत्न केलाय अंगण शाळेच्या माध्यमातून याच्यातून, परंतु हे महाराष्ट्रामध्ये किंवा आपल्या मराठवाड्यामध्ये खूप गंभीर परिस्थिती आणि हा विषय आहे सर.
नाही, फार महत्वाचा इश्यू आहे. एज्युकेशन सेक्टरच नव्हे तर प्रत्येक सेक्टर हा कोविडच्या पॅन्डेमिक मध्ये अफेक्ट झालेला आहे. आपण सांगू शकतो की ऑनलाईन पद्धतीचं पण आपण अवलंब केला, त्यामध्ये सुद्धा आपण काही लोकांनी त्याची स्तुती पण केली, काही लोकांनी त्याचे दुष्परिणाम पण सांगितले, व्हेरियस रिसर्च पण झाले त्याच्यावर. तर त्या रिसर्चमध्ये असं आढळून आलं की जे दुर्गम भाग आहेत, ज्या ठिकाणी नेटवर्कचा इश्यू आहेत किंवा काही लोकांकडे मोबाईलचा नाही अशा प्रकारचे आहेत, किंवा काही कम्प्युटर तर राहू द्यास पण मोबाईल सुद्धा नाही आहे म्हणजे स्मार्टफोन, त्या लोकांसाठी हा विषय होता. तर तुमचा प्रश्न निश्चित बरोबर आहे. यासाठी एनजीओ, शिक्षण विभाग, त्याचबरोबर काही व्हॉलंटियर्स, आपल्यासारखे विचार ठेवणारे काही व्हॉलंटियर्स यांनी माझं असं मत आहे की तुम्ही जिल्हाधिकारी यांना भेटावं, भेटून हा प्रश्न तिथं मांडून सर्व जे शिक्षणाधिकारी आणि एज्युकेशनशी रिलेटेड जे काही स्टेक होल्डर्स आहेत त्यांच्याशी एक मीटिंग्स व्हावी आणि यांच्या अवेअरनेससाठी, त्यांच्या सेन्सिटायझेशनसाठी, त्यांच्या अपग्रेडेशन इन द टर्म्स ऑफ एज्युकेशन मध्ये काय करता येईल यासाठी काही विचार होणं गरजेचं आहे. म्हणजे हे एक जिल्हा स्तरावर म्हणतो, त्याचबरोबर शासनाने आपल्याला एक प्लॅटफॉर्म दिलेला आहे की यू कॅन डायरेक्टली गिव्ह द सजेशन टू द स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट अँड यू कॅन ऑल्सो गिव्ह सजेशन टू द सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंट ऑल्सो थ्रू ऑनलाईन प्लॅटफॉर्म MyGov अशा एक प्रकारची एक पोर्टल आहे. त्यामध्ये तुमचं सजेशन सेंट्रल गव्हर्नमेंटला सुद्धा देऊ शकता. आपले सरकार पोर्टल म्हणून स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटचं एक पोर्टल आहे, त्या ठिकाणी तुम्ही स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटला काही सजेशन देऊ शकता. थोडस म्हणजे उशिरा का होईना, परंतु ते प्रत्येक जो ही आहे PM पोर्टल एक आहे, त्यामध्ये सुद्धा तुम्ही हे अशा प्रकारचं हे टाकू शकता, जेणेकरून स्टेट लेवलवर काहीतरी ह्याच्यामध्ये पॉलिसी तयार झाली तर निश्चितपणे अशा प्रकारच्या जे काही इश्यूज आहेत त्याला आपण रिझॉल्व्ह करू शकतो. त्यासाठी थोडस प्रत्येकाने आपल्यासारखं विचार करून थोडंसं ते हा विषय कुठं ना कुठं एक मांडणं आवश्यक आहे. तर माझी विनंती राहील आपण जिल्हा प्रशासनाशी संपर्क साधावा. त्याचबरोबर स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटला सुद्धा आपण काही या प्रकारचे सजेशन्स देऊ शकतो.
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
Thank you, sir. Students, please go through feedback link. Now, I request to Mamta madam to deliver vote of thanks. Over to you, madam.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anjali. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Anjali. I, Dr. Mamta Parikh, feel extremely privileged to extend today's vote of thanks. Heartfelt gratitude to today's learned keynote speaker, Mr. Saqib Osmani, for sharing his knowledge. Sir, your work is phenomenal. The knowledge and experience you have shared have given high impact on the society. Staying in place like Latur, where people have already gone through so many incidents, and being prepared will play a vital role and ease one's life. Sir, in such a short period, you showed the overall picture of India, disaster, and its management. So we are eagerly waiting for your further sessions and your further workshops that will benefit the citizen of Latur and our students also. Thank you so much, sir. We thank the Anand Education Society, the Anand College of Law, our beloved principal, Dr. Poonam Nathani ma'am, for encouraging us to organize such wonderful seminars back to back. I uh, I extend my gratitude to Dr. Subhangi Panchal ma'am, the coordinator of Green Cell, which is doing a wonderful job, and acknowledge the efforts of Advocate Priya Patil ma'am for taking all the efforts and organizing this beautiful national seminar. Thanks to our technical support, Mr. Rahul and Suraj. Last but not least, our beloved students and all the staff. Thank you so much for patiently listening and actively participating in today's seminar. Thanks to one and all. Thanks, Dr. Anjali ma'am, for leading us today. Thank you once again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, madam. Now, with the permission of all my madam and with my friends, I can say we are concluding this webinar. Thank you for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, all of you. Saqib sir, we are hoping and seeing in the future that guidance from you, as you are a part and parcel of our college. Our students want to involve in such kind of activities, social work or disaster management activities. Hopefully, you will give them some opportunities in future, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Most welcome, madam. Most welcome.
Yes, thank you, sir. Now this program is concluded. Yes.
सरांचा नंबर भेटला तर बरं होईल मॅम.
नक्कीच भेटेल ना, का नाही भेटणार.
You can take from Patil madam.
Yes, I will give. Contact me, I will provide. Okay, now you can leave the meeting, each and everyone. Thank you for actively participating in program. Now you can leave.
थँक्यू मॅम.